Harry landed solo in Tokyo yesterday before shocking the International Sports Promotion Society's Sports Values Summit by admitting he'd happily leave his life in the States behind.
Every single element of the Japanese culture is really unique and very special. I noticed it my first visit in 4 years ago when I came for the Rugby World Cup, and I would happily live here if you'd have me.
The American dream seems to be suiting wife Meghan much better, though, as she celebrated her birthday earlier this week in Santa Barbara by attending a Barbie screening with girlfriends, but without her hubby. Amidst stateside reports that she will be relaunching herself on Instagram as @Meghan, and maybe she's not missing Harry too badly. She's also attended a Taylor Swift concert in Los Angeles last night alongside her British bestie, Lucy Fraser. So, Paul, after previously being stuck together like glue, remember they called themselves salt and pepper. They would only go together. Increasingly, doesn't this look like the Sussexes are preparing for professional lives apart?
I agree with you, Dan. I think things are changing in California. This is the next step in Meghan reinventing herself after so much controversy. She seems to be separating her private life and her business life and preparing herself for the next step. And I think this platform on which she's creating @Meghan is the future of solo deals, which she will complete by herself. And I think that world is going to be film, beauty, fashion, and even politics. And watching Harry in that clip just now, I can't quite believe what I'm hearing. I don't think for 1 second that Harry and Meghan are going to swap their wonderful life in California for a life in Japan. I think Harry is just being over-polite and pleasing his hosts. It's a shame that in that speech he made, he said that he likes to give hard work, dedication, and partnership. I'm just very sad that that doesn't extend to his country of his birth, the culture that we live in, and the family, whom he regularly criticises.
No, indeed. Now, look, across to America's East Coast now, Paul, where the Florida Congressman Greg Steube has introduced the cleverly named SPARE Act to require fair enforcement of American visa laws, regardless of one's public profile. In a press release, Steube blasted left-wing celebrities like Prince Harry, who have a self-recorded history of illegal drug use, should be subjected to the same standards and enforcement of our country's immigration laws as any other alien. So, Paul, should Harry be worried that he's been specifically targeted now by top US politicians?
Absolutely. I quite agree with his sentiments, because Harry has talked openly about his drug abuse, and there's still a question over whether he did answer those questions correctly or whether he told little fibs when he filled out his American visa. Harry isn't above the law. The same rules apply to anyone who is entering America. And I feel that Harry is a little petulant at the moment, and he feels that he's untouchable. Well, Harry, you're not.
No, indeed. Now, look, in their first off-camera only project, the Sussexes plan to adapt a best-selling book into a Netflix series. So it's this book. I haven't read it. I'm going to be honest. It's by Carly Fortune. It's called Meet Me by the Lake. But I'm told, Paul, that it follows a love story of a couple in their 30s dealing with the pain of losing a parent in a car crash as a child. Now, the author, she's released a gushing statement. She seems very happy about it. Says she's thrilled about working with Netflix and the Sussexes. She calls it a perfect partnership. But, Paul, I mean, look, I know how much you still feel the loss of Diana. Do you feel it's crass at all for Harry and Meghan to be producing a Netflix series that most folks say in some way mirrors Diana's tragic death? Or is this his right, given that his life seems to have been completely changed as a result?
Well, here we go again, Dan. We're chasing a $3 million deal with Netflix, and it's all about money. We all witnessed the devastation of Princess Diana's death, but Dan, a lot of people witness the loss of loved ones through road traffic accidents, and I think people have forgotten that. It's not just Harry, it's everyone else. I'm hoping in my heart that this depiction shows compassion and empathy, because it could be a good platform on which to level that. If it's handled in the right way, it could reach people. I'm hoping that it is handled carefully. It could turn out to be very crass, though. And what I'm puzzled about is there are some amazing producers in Hollywood, and these two have no track record in producing an adaptation of a book. So are Netflix just paying for their names to be labeled all over this?
Seems
I think that might be the case.
Yeah, it does seem so, because we've learnt that it's Netflix who's paid the £2.3 million for the rights. And I would just say to Carly Fortune, you know, this author, you know, why on earth have you chosen these two to make your book? Because everything they turn at the moment turns to the opposite of gold, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, it's not going right, is it?
No, indeed not. But Paul, look, the Daily Mirror... No, you're still with us, Daily Mirror...
I'm still with you.
Revealed today on their front page, Paul, that it's William and Kate who are going to lead tribute on the anniversary of the late Queen's death, with some sort of message to the nation, while the King actually has a quiet day of reflection while he's at Balmoral. So... Number one, is it right for Kate and Wills to take the lead on this day? And also, what do you think about the fact that King Charles hasn't invited the Sussexes to be part of the sort of informal commemoration, even though, Paul, they're not far away, that they're not going to be in Montecito, they're actually going to be in Germany for the Invictus Games?
I don't think the King had any idea of inviting Meghan and Harry to this event, because he considers this to be a family event, his close family event. Our late Queen was the beating heart of our nation. She was the beating heart of that family. I still miss her today. It's going to be difficult for the King. I know it is, because he had to witness the death of his mother before he got the top job, as Princess Diana called it. So it's very difficult for him. But he's handed the baton to William and Kate, because I think that's quite classy, because they are our King and Queen in waiting. They're waiting in the wings. And let's face it, at 74 and 76, our new King and Queen aren't spring chickens. And I think William and Kate are there to help as much as possible. This is their first real duty on behalf of the King. And I think you're going to be seeing more of this, Dan, because the King and Queen don't like those long overhaul flights to New Zealand and Australia and to Canada. And I think William and Kate are going to be stepping into those shoes and doing more and more work on behalf of the King. So I welcome this. I do welcome this move, because I want to see more of William and Kate stepping onto the world stage.
Fascinating insight, as ever, from former royal butler and Princess Diana's rock, Paul Burrell. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Dan.